Welcome to WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. My name is Jake, and we are on the eve of election night in America. My word. Election day, suppose I should say, off to a great start. Look, if you haven't voted yet, make a plan to go out and vote tomorrow. You know this already, I'm sure, but it's important. If, and this is the last bit of work we got to do. If you have family members who just sort of kind of are vaguely aware of this, I think that's the most common voter in America. Make your pitch tomorrow, drive them to the polls if you have to. Either literally drive them or use a pointy stick to get them off their butts and to the voting booth. It matters. Okay. We also have a poll. Right now, in the YouTube chat, there's a poll asking which you want to watch first. Now, here's the deal. Right now, in this moment, leading at 57% is MR Crew laughs at empty Trump seats. We've got Harris rally, which we're going to watch all these. Don't you worry. We've got Harris rally. We've got Trump rally. We've got Adam Mockler covers Nevada poll. And MR Crew laughs at empty Trump seats. Now that's at 50%. Now here's the deal. Pinkerbell puts up a suggestion, maybe trying to sway some of the votes here. MR should be the final thing, a light note to end on. That's fair. I like that. Donald James X, enjoy dinner. Cattle prod your friends. Let's go. Absolutely, Pink. Miss Jen's Cats. Don't be surprised if I drink all day tomorrow. I already voted. Fair. Good. Good. I'll be covering election night results. I think we're going to start at... we'll start by the time the polls close. I will probably want to start right before then. Tomorrow will be a voters only stream. I will ask people to participate, join in, say hi, only if they have voted already. It's for us, those who got involved in any way, shape, or form, those who tried to make their voices heard. Let's have... Oh, we got a direct message from Annie. Okay. It becomes relevant later. Del Martinez, I thought this was at 7:30 p.m. Yes, it's 7:30 p.m. in real time, in proper time for the East Coast. No, I should probably start posting the times in the various time zones, but it's 7:30 p.m. for me. But I'm delighted you're here. Thank you for stopping by. It's going to be a long one. I'm sure it will be on during 7:30 p.m. whenever your time is. Let's have one last look at those results. Which thing is ooh, all right, let me just say this, and Dell, you might be the deciding vote here. In the poll, the Harris rally has almost tied MR Crew laughs at empty Trump seats. I think Pink had a good point that it would be lovely to end it with the MR Crew. There's only 10 votes in the whole poll. Right now, Harris is splitting the vote against Trump. Her vote is, she would have tied him, but she's split with Adam Mockler covers the Nevada poll. Boy, I hope that this isn't prescient. In fact, just to make me feel better, somebody go vote for Harris in this poll right now. Somebody click on Harris rally is the thing we want to watch first, just because now I'm terrified that I've accidentally cursed the election. Please, Jesus, tiny baby Jesus, infant Jesus in his cradle of straw. Oh, it's tied. Yes, 45-45. Harris rally. And 50%. There we go. Harris wins. And we're ending the poll. We're ending it now. Now it ends. All right. Well, that totally fair poll now has Harris. Oh, good. Del Martinez, I voted for MR. Love to feel like my vote matters. So, look, here's the thing. I realize that you voted for the Trump rally, but I've rigged the system against you. I think the thing to do is riot. Come to Dearborn, burn my house down. It's an apartment. It's not a house. But, you know, that's the thing to do. Well done, all. Thank you for putting up with me. All right, yeah. Here's the good news about the Harris rally. She's concise. That soon to be President Harris is. So let's have a gander at what her closing remarks were for the nation.
Hello, Pennsylvania. Can we hear it for Elizabeth? Let's hear it for Elizabeth.
This has nothing to do with politics and may annoy all of you, but it's my show. Dust Mite the Boomer. I love people's thumbnails. I don't know why, but I obsess over looking at them. I can't figure yours out. What is that? Is that a tardigrade? Is that a super close up water bear? Is that what I'm seeing? I'm going to your channel. It looks like a water bear. That's what I think it is. Do tell me in the comments. All right, back to serious stuff. It's Dusk Mite. I'm an actual idiot.
Good afternoon.
It's in your name.
All right, Allentown, are we ready to do this?
Dust Mite. Okay. Thank you.
Are we ready to vote? Are we ready to win?
They're gonna, and they don't even have to because they can survive in space.
It's good
apparently.
To be back in Pennsylvania.
Very
and
low
it is
oxygen.
Good to be with so many incredible leaders. Let me thank everyone. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy lives to be here this afternoon. We are all in this together, and I know we all here know this, but I thank you for all the work everyone has been doing over these last months and over the next 25.
Heck yes. Time ass Kamala Harris. You tell her.
I want to thank my dear friend Governor Shapiro for his leadership, his friendship, and all that he does. Congresswoman Wild, let's reelect her to the United States House of Representatives. And while we're at it, please send Bob Casey back to the United States Senate.
Doing the work down ballot. Good. Babes, I'm going to drink all day tomorrow. That is absolutely fair, Mrs. Jens Katz. Shade Dragon. Any election with an electoral college is rigged, but usually not for the left. True. Pinkerbell looks like a pangolin to me. I love pangolins. They look
Mayor
like Pokemon.
Turk, I thank you for your friendship and your long-standing leadership. And can we hear it
Del
for Fat
Martinez,
Joe?
melting my heart. Anyone else claps when they hear
And
the
Frankie
crowd cheer? I
Negron.
will now.
So listen, I am so thankful to everyone for being here, and including the leaders of the Puerto Rican community. I stand here proud of my longstanding commitment to Puerto Rico and her people, and I will be a president.
Would that make them ground fire type or ground flying type? Probably ground fire type, right? Pangolins are dragon anteaters, says Shade Dragon. Facts. And he's the expert.
President for all Americans. All Americans. All Americans. So Allentown, this is it. Just one more day. One more
Whereas
day.
Trump is pitching, he's the campaign for all white Americans, except the Jews. And I don't think he really counts Italians as white.
One more day left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime, and momentum is on our side. Momentum is on our side.
Yes.
Can you feel it? We have momentum, right?
Get him, Kamala.
Because our campaign has tapped into the ambitions and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people. We are optimistic and excited about what we will do together. And we here know it is time for a new generation of leadership in America.
Yes, ma'am.
And I am ready to offer that leadership as the next president of the United States of America.
True.
Now,
Hey, Dragon. I
Pennsylvania, the race is
also I
not
don't
yet
think the
over.
Ukrainian
Okay,
people
we
are
got
on
a
really
lot
good
of work
terms
to
with
do,
Trump either.
and we have got to finish strong. So listen, we got hard work to do, but here's the thing: we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win. We will
Boom.
win. We will win. We will win. We will win.
Hell yeah. There's strong evidence in the polls that that's so, but let's not
one
take
of
it
the
for granted.
reasons we will win is because I do believe when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for.
Yeah.
And we have an opportunity in this election to finally turn the page on a decade of politics that have been driven by fear and division. We're done with that. We're done.
Find
And we're exhausted
screw
with it.
for my mic. 1 second.
America is ready for a fresh start.
Hey, Tom Trask.
Love you, Steve.
I would hope not, considering the size of the
ready
truck
for
you
a
drive.
new way forward where we see our fellow American not as an enemy, but as a neighbor. We are ready. We are ready for a president who understands that the true measure of the strength of a leader is not based on who you beat down, it is based on who you lift up.
We've heard this, but this is a good message. And she's going to be playing the hit.
In Pennsylvania, you know me. I am not afraid of tough fights, evidently. For decades, as a prosecutor and the top law enforcement officer of our biggest state, I won fights against the big banks that ripped off homeowners. I won fights against for-profit colleges that scammed veterans and students. I won fights against predators who abused women and children and seniors, and cartels that trafficked in guns and drugs and human beings.
Yeah.
We're not going back. And it is my pledge to you. It is my pledge to you.
We're going to hear her pledge in a second. I do want to stress that that is the I'm glad that's been the vibe of this campaign, because she actually is the change candidate. She's the only one running who hasn't been president before. Yeah, we're not going back to the old ways. I hope America decides that's so. Because frankly, when I see Trump, every time I see Trump, this is the face she's making now is how I feel inside. Ugh. Aren't you just sick of seeing that guy?
If you give me a chance to fight on your behalf as president, there is nothing in the world that will stand in my way. Nothing in the world. And it is my pledge to you that when I walk, with your help, it is my pledge to you that when I walk in the White House, instead of stewing over an enemies list, I will spend every day working on my to-do list.
Oh, no, wait a minute. The letter hack. Arrived in New York City, immediately lost my phone. Just bought a new one. How are you all? Man, I hope you were at the end of your contract. Regardless, at least you would have only had to pay off the remaining amount. Maybe, hopefully, you had insurance. Perhaps that sucks. That's a terrible way to arrive in New York City. But man, you're gonna have a rad couple of days. Woo-hoo. And you got a flashy new phone, so that's cool. That sucks though, man. I'm sorry to hear that. But hey, hopefully you've just taken all the bad luck energy and sacrificed your phone to it. Hopefully that's where all that goes. Also, it's funny that that you happened to pop in just then. I don't know if you saw the message that I sent you guys in Discord, but one of the topics I'm going to cover tonight, you might have some interest in. I don't anticipate you even logging into Discord. Disregard that part. But one of the things I want to talk about tonight, you might have an interest in, which is I want to go over the odds that Nikki Haley endorses Biden before the election. Look, I made the prediction, and we can't say that I'm wrong yet. Can't say that I'm wrong yet.
On your behalf, full of priorities that are about improving.
Yeah, many months ago, I said that it's entirely possible that Haley could endorse Biden, and it's still technically possible. If they have, she could have a verbal gaffe. She could be struck with amnesia. An alternate universe Nikki Haley could show up to Nikki Haley's house, garrote her, take her place, and then endorse Biden, trying to change the future. She time traveled, trying to change the future, not realizing she's gone to the wrong timeline, and he's not even in the race.
In your life, about bringing down the cost of living, about banning corporate price gouging on groceries, about making housing and childcare more affordable.
Ties herself up, puts her in a closet.
Will be about cutting taxes for workers and middle-class families and small businesses.
Yeah, she is wearing
health care costs, including the cost of home care for our seniors.
I don't think I said before the election. I think I said before the election is over. I think I just said endorse Biden for that matter.
On this, I believe access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it.
All right, there's a problem. Access to health care is not the same as health care. So access to health care being a right, yeah, I have access to the Ferrari dealership. It's, do I have the money for a Ferrari? But that said, she says it's a right and not just for those who can afford it. This is incredibly good news. I know this is her closing speech, and you might not think there's going to be actual substance there. That was actual substance, because what she alludes to, for those of us that watch that and parse the words, this basically the audience here tonight, what she's saying is a public option. Excellent. For our purposes, a public option is all that's necessary because it's going to function much better. We did not specify when. First of all, the phone saga, I left it in the taxi for say, ooh, that sucks. We did not specify when. So, theoretically, if Haley ever endorses Biden, I realize he's retiring, but if she ever endorses him for anything, I'm snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Tell Martinez I have access because I can go to another country. Yeah, that hurts. They still have taxis? Yeah, of course. That's like a New York City thing.
And to
Heck
those
yes, Mrs.
certain
Jens Katz.
individuals who still want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, trying to take us back to the days when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. Well, to them, we say we are not going back. We are not going back. And we are not going back.
No, healthcare is what we're
not
talking about.
going
Access to
back
healthcare
because
is key.
ours is a fight for the future. Ours is a fight for the
Dude,
future.
Mexico's cool as hell. 40 pesos for a
And
doctor's
it is a
visit and
fight
200 for the
freedom.
meds.
Like the fundamental freedom
Well,
of
Martinez,
a woman
that's
to make
super cool.
decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And when Congress, with Bob Casey's help, passes a bill to restore
Promoting the down
reproductive
ballot
freedom
race. Hell
nationwide,
yeah.
as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
Boom.
So, Pennsylvania, I'm here to ask for your vote. I'm here to ask for your vote.
Hey.
And here is my pledge. And here is my pledge.
Del Martinez, don't let my joking jealousness of you get you down. No. We should be making these observations all the time. I know I'm a little lost in the sauce and we're doing two things at once, but just, do you remember when Bernie went to Canada to demonstrate that a neighboring country has better healthcare than we do? That's healthy for us, I think. I think everybody that doesn't currently know that both of our neighbors are lapping us in terms of the health they provide for their citizens needs to be made aware of it. So good.
To you. As president, I pledge to seek common ground and
Dental
common
care,
sense
says Shade
solutions to
Dragon,
the
including
challenges you face.
transportation, room,
I am not
board,
looking.
food, meds, and medical care in
I am
Mexico
not looking to
is
score
cheaper than
political
getting it
points.
done
I am
at home.
looking
Yeah.
to make progress. And I pledge to you.
Anti-corporate is putting it so well. I low-key can't believe that I'm hoping that Kamala Harris gets elected president. 2004 me is going to come kick me in the nuts for letting this happen. Yeah, here we are. I'm rooting for her too. I'm coconuts, baby, until, at the very least,
That's okay.
midnight Wednesday.
And it is my pledge to you to listen to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make, to listen to experts, and to listen to people who disagree with me, because I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy.
Facts. Great point to make. Look, if you vote for Harris, you're voting for politics not being this aggressive knife fight where people fly off the handle constantly anymore. You know, you're voting for politics to go back to being a conversation, but what you're not going back to is the policies of old, which didn't help anybody. It's the best of both worlds. You're voting for decency. You're voting for being able to get along with your neighbors, no matter where you are aligned politically. Del Martinez talking about nuts. Did y'all hear about peanuts? I recently learned that they're not actually nuts. Funny enough. Is that no? Wait, that was cashews. That was cashews, not peanuts. No, I didn't hear about the peanut. What? Tell me about that. No, if there's a squirrel. Wait, there was a sad face, and now I hear it's related to Peanut the squirrel. Just lie to me, Del Martinez. Just lie to me. I want to hear that a squirrel's okay. Real quick, David Martin Graff. Good day, Jake. Excited for election 2024. Be part of it. I'd like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honeybees and snow white turtle doves. I love it. Absolutely. Peanuts are legumes. Yeah, I was thinking of cashews. I do apologize. Cashews are apparently not a true nut. They're a type of fruit, I guess.
And you know what? By the way, listen, we are fighting for a democracy right now.
They're the seeds of the cashew
and we
apple.
love our democracy, and democracy can be a bit complicated sometimes, but that's okay. We are fighting for a democracy.
They are referred
which is
to
why
as a group.
I say that I am not going to be a leader who thinks that people who disagree with me should be put in jail, that they are the enemy. I'll give them a seat at the table, because that's what real leaders do, and that's what strong leaders do.
Boom.
And it is my pledge to you to always put country above party and self, and to be a president for all Americans.
Good message. Valid message.
So, Allentown, that is my pledge to you. And so let me ask, who here has a plan to vote? Fantastic. That's great. All right. So polls are open here in Pennsylvania tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Let's get the word out. Let's get, definitely vote. And let's get the word out. All the leaders here, help get the word out to remind people of the hours the polls are open, and to remind folks that they can go to iwillvote.com for all the information that folks may need in terms of when and where to vote, and where to drop off their mail ballots, right? Because that's going to be very important. And to all the leaders here, I ask you to please continue to talk to your friends and your family and your neighbors, and let them know
leaving the message up for a good long time, but I don't endorse it.
Out of your busy lives to be here right now, and what is at stake in this election. Please share your perspective on why this election is so important, and encourage folks to let them know their voices must be heard, because and UAW is in the house.
Yeah. Workers for Democrats.
I am so proud to have your support. Thank you. I'm so proud to have your support. And we need everyone in Pennsylvania to vote, because you are going to make the difference in this election. You will. So here's how I think about things. We are all here together because we love our country. And when you love something, you fight for it.
Insight into Nevada. I think Foxy
and
might
I
have won
do
us
believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism, of our expression of our love for our country, to then fight for its ideals, and to fight to realize the promise of America. And look, I have always believed in our nation's promise, because I have lived it. I grew up as a child of the
Cashew
civil rights
facts, I'll
movement.
have to cash you
My
later. We're
parents
doing the
would take me to marches when
election.
I was in a stroller. And there were people there, we've all
Now,
read and know
macadamia
about it. There
fact.
were people there from all walks of life who came together
That's just some academics.
in a fight for freedom and for opportunity. You know, growing up, I watched my mother as she raised my sister and me and gave us the same chances our country gave her. I was blessed to have family by blood and to have family by love who instilled in me the values of community and compassion and faith. I've spent my life fighting for people who have been hurt and counted out, but who never stopped believing that in our country, anything is possible. I have lived the promise of America. And today I see the promise of America in everyone who is here, in every one of you, in every one of us. We are the promise
Same,
of
but
America.
I would eat that cookie.
Everyone here, we are the promise of America. We are the promise of America. And I see it. I see it in the fathers and the mothers and the grandparents who work hard every day for the children's future. I see it in the women who refuse to accept a future without reproductive freedom.
Yes, ma'am.
I see it in the men who support them. I see it in the Republicans who never voted for a Democrat before, but put the Constitution of the United States over party.
Excellent point. Cannot be stressed enough. That's fundamentally what this election is about.
And every day I see the promise of America in all the young leaders who are voting for the first time. Thank you. I love Gen Z.
Hell yeah.
I'm telling you, I love Gen Z, and here's one of the reasons why. So here's one of the things about y'all. You are rightly impatient for change. I know that. I know that. And you who have only known the climate crisis are leading the charge to protect our planet and our future.
Rightly
You
impatient
who
for
grew
change.
up with active shooter
that's
drills
a great
are
message.
fighting to keep our schools safe. You who have known fewer rights than your mothers and grandmothers are standing up for freedom. And for you, none of these issues is theoretical or political. This is your lived experience. And I see you, and I see your power. And we must recognize how bright the future of our nation is because of you.
I do have to say it though. When you see an oatmeal, I like an oatmeal cookie. I'll strike the middle ground between AC and Dell here. Got a real debate firing up in the comments. Here's the deal. I like an oatmeal cookie. I do, but they have to be clearly labeled. It should be the law that you have to say, hey, don't get your hopes up. This is not chocolate chip. I know. I'm sorry. It should come with a label and an apology for not being chocolate chip. But then you get the solid C+ cookie.
So can we hear it for our first time voters, everybody?
Yeah, buddy.
There we go. All right. Okay. One day left. 1 day left, and we need to finish this strong
Chocolate
and
chip
get this
100%
done.
of the
So
time.
let's get out the vote.
Yep.
Let's reach out to all of our folks in the next 24 hours, family and friends and classmates and neighbors and coworkers. And as we do, I ask, let us please be intentional about building community. Let us be intentional about building coalitions.
Excellent.
Because, you know, there's been so much about these last few years that has been about trying to beat people down, trying to have Americans point their fingers at each other, trying to make people feel as though they're alone and don't have anybody. So not anymore, because we all know that our power includes, yes, this vote and this election, but building community and coalitions and reminding folks the vast majority.
Truly, I can't think of a better analogy for the Democratic Party. I don't, as I said, I don't dislike the oatmeal raisin cookies. I really don't. All told, altogether, it's a C+ cookie. That's pretty good. Because any cookie is an A+ snack. Even a D- cookie is an A+ snack. But it's that they are so frequently, the oatmeal raisin, mistaken for the chocolate chip, the king of cookies, in my humble opinion. That's the Democratic Party. So many people are angry at them for not being chocolate chip progressive. And that's understandable. But tomorrow we're deciding, but not between what type of cookie are we going to have. We're deciding between, are we going to eat cookies regardless of the flavor, or are we going to stick our tongue in a bear trap? That's the decision. So I will go on celebrating. And then you have the Green Party over here. So I will go on celebrating Cookie Harris 2024.
Many of us have so much more in common than what separates us, and we are all in this together. We are all in this together. And from the very start of our campaign, this has not been about a fight that is against something. This is about a fight that is for something.
Yes.
This is for something. This is about a future with freedom and opportunity and dignity for all Americans. And so in this final stretch, let us remember that we have a lot of work to do, and there is power in our work about reminding folks of their voice and the power of their vote. So remember, your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. So, Pennsylvania, Allentown, I then ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do we believe in opportunity?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we believe in the promise of America?
Yes, Madam President.
Are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Fantastic. Well, I tell you what. Let's do a quick palate cleanser. And I tell you, when we check out Trump, I'm probably going to do it on double speed. It's the last Trump rally, hopefully ever. But it may. I tell you, listening to Trump makes me feel like Adam Mockler looks here. Just I can't do it anymore, and I don't want to ask you to do it. And we know what he's about. Really, we're just scanning this thing to see if he f's up. That's all, and to make fun of the crowd and all that. Ooh, Del Martinez. I know Tucker tried to go with the "we need daddy" vibes, which was gross, but Harris does have mom vibes. Like that's what the country needs: healthy oatmeal cookies. Yeah, yeah. Well put, man. Yeah. Now you got a famous Simpsons character agreeing with you. That old face. Oh God, Pinkerbell. Oh no, I bet you real money he'll go on a grievance tour. We'll watch the bonus content for sure. All right, here's Adam Mockler talking about how I think Wicked Foxy Dragon won Nevada for us. Look, if Nevada goes blue, we need to have a thank you Foxy stream. We got to get together and basically throw her a digital thank you party because she got 8 mother people to change sides and go blue. I mean, beautiful.
All right, we just got some breaking news out of the swing state of Nevada that I am incredibly excited to share with you guys because for some real talk, I've been pretty nervous about this election for the past 2 months. I've been looking at the data. I've been going to these Trump rallies. I've been thinking that due to the inflation we once experienced, due to Elon Musk's meddling, Trump could win. But now, over the past 48 hours, I have felt incredibly competent. Now, not complacent. I have already voted. I am mobilizing my friends and family, but I feel confident due to some key data that we've gotten from a few swing states. And I want to share this data with you so you can ease your nerves. I know you guys are nervous. I can feel the energy. So with less than a day to go, let's jump into this video. We have no time to waste. Make sure you drop a like and
real quick. We're nervous for a good reason. I know he's not suggesting otherwise, but it's because we keep playing Russian roulette with democracy. This is now the 3rd election in a row where that is true. And I say 3rd because in 2016, Trump said he will accept the results of the election if he wins. Now, I don't blame the FBI for not stepping in at that point and arresting the motherfucker. They shouldn't have at that point. It was up to the citizens to unanimously say that's behavior we will not accept. It was on Republicans in their shriveled hearts to find decency, and it wasn't there. It just wasn't there. 2020 rolls around. The dude full on did it again. And again, it wasn't for the law enforcement to step in. Once more, it was on Americans again. But now we knew who he was. There was really no excuse. And Americans did the right thing up until, some of them tried a coup. Now, at that point, it was time to say, people are going to prison for this. You cannot pretend to participate in a democracy while trying to take it down. In fact, in America, I take it back, actually. You could legally undo democracy in America, but what you can't do is break the law. Except unless apparently you're a Republican. Then you can break the law. Then you're allowed. So it's time number 3, and once again, we find ourselves in the position, will we have a democracy or not? We're nervous. We're right to be. Cat67 Cat, good to see you.
Make sure you subscribe. People keep saying, I've been watching you for a while, but I didn't realize that I never even take a look.
A lot of effort and energy into trying to increase his margins here. I will say the turnout today so far for this event is quite thin. There is a lot of empty seats left in this arena, and Donald Trump is now supposed to speak in the next hour here. So I'm not saying that's a sign about what we can expect in Pennsylvania by any stretch or in this county, but Donald Trump has built his brand around his ability to turn out large crowds. And so far in the stops today in North Carolina and here in Reading, it is noticeably thin here.
He makes an amazing point. Donald Trump has built his brand on the turnout, and the crowd there is thin. The crowd in North Carolina was thin. We have seen this repeated over the past few weeks. And he also makes another great point. This isn't very indicative of the turnout we'll see. We'll still see tens and tens and tens of millions of people voting for Donald Trump. It'll still be pretty close, but I think that we can worry a little bit less. Now, I do want to say before we jump into this data, I do want to prepare you guys. I want to prime you guys in the same way that Donald Trump is with his fan base. Now, what Donald Trump's doing is already laying the groundwork to call the election stolen. So tomorrow night, he can take the stage. He can take the stage, declare victory prematurely, and then Elon Musk will back him up throughout all of that. And my uncle made a really good point. He was saying that in 2020, Twitter acted as a guardrail. Do you guys remember when Donald Trump immediately got banned for spreading election fraud lies? Election fraud lies were deranked in the algorithm and people were banned immediately. Now that Elon Musk has unilateral control, it'll be the opposite. He will be boosting that stuff. So going back to what I said, I want to prime you guys a little bit so you guys are ready. I know you guys are ready for Donald Trump to declare early victory with the help of all of his cronies, all of his surrogates, firing on all cylinders to leverage all of their resources. Elon Musk will use his wealth, will use his reach. Everybody like J.D. Vance will be posting on Twitter, posting on Instagram. They'll be firing on all cylinders, and we need to be ready. I mean, even Tucker Carlson.
I'm going to skip this because we get it, but I'm going to add my own. Agreement there. Yeah, the next stage of this is going to be dealing with the inevitable attempts from Trump to do a second coup. And here's what I want to see happen. I want to see people arrested immediately. This time, when there's when there's fake electors rounded up or gathered to for example do stuff like they did in Michigan, where they literally tried to break into the building where the electors were supposed to be, and the fake electors tried to pass themselves off as real ones. This time, what I want to happen is the police who turn them away instead turn them against a wall, have them place their hands flat against the wall above their heads, take out their handcuffs, and one at a time pull their arms down, gently handcuff them, lead them to the squad car, open the door, watch their heads, gently guide them into the back of the squad car, close the door, and drive them to the local jail, where they will be informed of the charges against them. Now we know, and we can't pretend like we don't know what Trump's up to. This time, I want to see immediate action from law enforcement protecting democracy in America. That is not a big ask. That is the bare minimum I would expect from the U.S. police. I realize I've said that as though it's a federal agency, but from police in the U.S. All over. From sheriffs to FBI, I want to see democracy protected. When Trump tries this again, we should be vocal. Everybody be prepared to contact your local law enforcement when you hear stories of this, your local prosecutor, your local sheriff. And simply, when you hear that there was more fake electors, say, oh, whoa, that's illegal. I assume you're doing something now. Tell me what it is. Between election night and January 6th, Trump will try again. Hell, he'll try a coup any chance he gets. but be on the lookout for it.
Carlson are different in the sense that Mike Lindell has been sucked up into these lies genuinely, but we know that Tucker Carlson will continue to lie for Donald Trump tomorrow night. This is going to happen tomorrow night. And this brings us on to some of the data that we've just gotten recently. So to lay the groundwork, have you guys heard the name?
Dust Mite Boomer says, I don't think he can coup. He doesn't have the levers of power. He might. He might. If they win the House of Representatives, it's entirely possible. Yeah. But whether he can successfully or not, he's going to try. He's going to ask people to do these things, whether they will or they won't. He's going to advocate for it. And that in and of itself is a coup. Ooh. I saw Pink's message first. Let's see what Del Martinez has to say. We got to send an email to local sheriffs, reps, and governors that we're voting for their direct opposition on the next election if they don't enforce the law regardless of party. Yes. How do I screenshot? I snippy snip with the snipping tool. Yeah, that's what we have to do. Saving that picture as the plan. Really well put, Del Martinez. I think that's a Wednesday show right there. While I'm hungover. Yeah. Send an email to local sheriffs, representatives, and governors that we're voting for their direct opposition on the next election if they don't enforce the law regardless of party. Perfectly put. All right, Adam Mockler.
John Ralston. He's been making waves, not only this election cycle, but I remember back in 2020, I was a huge polling nerd, and John Ralston was known as a genius, as someone who could call the states very clearly, not just the states, but the state of Nevada in particular. His Wikipedia entry reads, Nevada election predictions and analysis. Pay attention right here. Ralston analyzes Nevada elections, especially based on early voting results, and accurately predicted the presidential election in Nevada and the Senate race in 2016 on the basis of early voting data. In 2020, he accurately predicted the presidential election in Nevada again, and the 2 Las Vegas House area races in which he offered predictions. He got it right. In 2022, he then accurately predicted the Nevada Senate race. 2 of the 3 Las Vegas House races, the gubernatorial race, the lieutenant gubernatorial election, the Secretary of State race, the AG race, the treasurer race, and the controller race. Sorry, that was a mouthful for me. In 2024, spoiler alert, John Ralston just predicted that Kamala Harris would win the 2024 presidential election in Nevada based on the early voting data, which is his specialty. And I'm going to show you guys how this affects the electoral map in particular, but let's read John Ralston's words exactly. So now that you guys know who John Ralston is, he has all of these accurate predictions. We just got this article 30 minutes ago titled Editor John Ralston's 2024 Nevada election predictions. John Ralston says, I should have done the mic drop in 2020. Picking the winners in the 2 top races, both of which were antagonizingly close, should have been the swan song, the ride off into the sunset of my oracular career. But no, I couldn't just rest on the laurels of correctly choosing the governor, the gubernatorial race, all of these different seats. So here we go again. Now, let's skip a little bit because he breaks down some of the data. Elections, as always, are about a lot of things, but when distilled, they're about math. And the math this year is confounding. He says of the early vote is different from any since this data was kept in such detail and I began analyzing it. Usually.
Yeah, I do want to say I'm interested in what Mockler has to say here. By the way, this kid's killing it. The better part of 1 million subs already. But early voting's different this time for a lot of reasons. This guy is like an early voting expert, but early voting's, we just don't know, is the short answer. There was mixed messaging from the Republican Party. It's between Trump says don't do it, Trump says do it. So I guess I'm just saying take this all with a grain of salt.
the Democrats, fueled by the machine that Harry Reid built, erect a firewall in populous Clark County that is designed as a bulwark against losses in the 15 red counties, with Washoe County often deciding who wins. And just a side note, over the past few weeks, MAGA has been loving John Ralston. They love John Ralston because he has been saying, Trump is getting some good early voting data. The early voting data looks good for Trump. And this isn't because John Ralston is some Trump supporter. It's actually the opposite. He is so nonpartisan that he will gladly admit if the other side is getting good data. And now MAGA hates John Ralston on Twitter. Someone just accused John Ralston of being paid off by Soros, and they found out the same person was praising John Ralston a few days back. We'll get to that. To continue with this, with former President Donald Trump and company discovering it might be smart to encourage Republicans to vote early and even by mail, the horror, the GOP vote has been front-loaded. The inverse is true, and the question is whether the Democrats can overcome a 43,000 plus GOP ballot lead as I write this. He said, I won't repeat a lot of my analysis. That concludes Trump probably has a 30,000 raw vote lead right now. But my theory of the case is that there is still a lot of Clark County mail ballots to be counted that favor Democrats and the GOP. And the GOP's partial cannibalization of its election day vote will propel some Democrats to victory, but not all Democrats are going to win down ballot in Nevada. What he's saying right here is that the Republicans cannibalized their on election day vote by getting those voters to vote early. So you guys can see what they did. They pushed everyone to vote early, and that completely decreased the amount of people that will vote on election day for Republicans. So here we go. For the presidency, drum roll. He said, I've been calling this the unicorn election because of the unusual voting patterns. It's really hard to know what will happen with mail ballots and election day turnout with so many Republicans voting early. But here's what I do know. Both sides, at least people who understand the data on both sides, believe this will be close. That's because if past is prologue in the mail ballot era, the last two cycles, tens of thousands of mail-in ballots will come in between now and Friday, the deadline. It's a simple question. Can the Democrats catch up? It's a coin flip. And he says, I know people on both sides who have analyzed the data who can't decide. He said, I've gone back and forth in my own head for days and my eyes glazing over the numbers and models and extrapolations. The keys to this election, no pun intended, shout out Alan Lichtman. He said, the key to this election has always been which way the non-major party voters break because they have become the plurality in the state. They're going to make up 30% or so of the electorate. And if they swing enough towards Harris, she'll win Nevada. He says, I think they will. And I'll tell you why. He says there are a lot of nonpartisans who are closet Democrats in Nevada who were purposely registered by Democrat-aligned groups as nonpartisans. The machine knows who they are and will get them to vote. It will be just enough to overcome the Republican lead, along with women motivated by abortion and crossover votes that issue also will cause. He says, I know some may think this reflects my well-known disdain for Trump. This guy hates Trump, just so you guys know. Hard over data is not the case here. That is not the case. He says, I've often predicted against my own preferences. History doesn't lie. I just have a feeling she will catch up here. But I also believe, and please remember this, it will not be clear who won on election night. So block out the nattering nabobs of election denialism. It's going to be very, very close. Here is his official prediction. Harris, 48.5%. Trump, 48.2%. That is so incredibly close when it comes to the...
So good news overall. It's close. It's close in Nevada. I'll take it. And it sounds like, yeah, I don't fully understand. It's not even, I don't understand. But apparently, the idea is that Republicans put a lot of effort in Nevada into getting people out early, which means the day of voting is not going to be as big as it normally is for Republicans. And so looking at the potential, the people who haven't voted yet in Clark County, this guy thinks it's going Harris. I hope that's so. And I say again, if it is, we've got Foxy to thank because she crushed this. Is it just me, says the anti-corporatist, or does every time someone say Democrat instead of Democratic, it sounds sussy as it does. It does. Because it came from a sussy place initially, but I don't think everybody's that does it is intentionally being sussy. It's just the way language works. Even if you hear a wrong thing long enough, it sounds normal. Soul Life talking to Shade Dragon. He said Trump had a McConnell moment and froze on stage for moments for 2 minutes. Trump froze on stage for 40 minutes to play his songs and avoid people. I felt like an idiot. You shouldn't. You're not an idiot. But this is coming from an idiot. I know my kind, and at least in that regard, it's not you. But Trump did indeed have a weird rally. I can't believe that 40-minute rally wasn't the end of his campaign. You should, because some people have ADHD and it helps. What does ADHD help with? Because I got it real bad somewhere around here. There's a unfilled prescription. Soul Life, maybe he was fooled and relayed bad info like I did when I saw his video before I saw the, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it happens. All right, let's rip this mango colored smelling Band-Aid off. Here is Donald Trump's, I hope, final rally ever.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, everybody. This is a great honor.
Double speed.
We're on the 2-yard line, not the 5-yard line. 2 days ago, we were at the 5, now we're at the 2. But we have to turn out and vote tomorrow. We're going to vote. But we're right there. And then we're going to do something, a term you've never heard of, make America great again. That's what we're going to do. So hello to Pennsylvania, a very special place. I went to school here, as you know. I spent a lot of time, have a lot of friends here, and I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. Great people. Great people. You built this country, I have to tell you, you built this country. You're going to save this country, too. You're going to save it. Because, you know, if we win Pennsylvania.
People in Boston will be shocked to hear that. New York, shocked to hear that. Maryland, shocked to hear that. Virginia, shocked to hear that. Basically, the 13 colonies are going to be very shocked to hear that they did not build the country.
If we win Pennsylvania, we win the whole ball of wax. It's over. It's over.
Collective.
So I'd like to begin by asking you a very, very easy, simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Yes, is the answer. Demonstrably, yes. In terms of crime rate, in terms of inflation, yes. Democrats have done a better job. And this is actually predictable. The way you could have predicted it at the time is that they always do a better job. Democrats are better at running the country because, and brace yourselves because this is going to be hard to hear if you voted differently in the past, Republicans are just trying to steal. That's the entire purpose for the party's existence. It's to steal from you. It's a criminal organization which and I call it criminal not because of what they do at the very end of the process, which is usually legally steal, but because of the means they're willing to use to get there, which includes criminal behavior. It's a criminal organization which exists to con American voters, to put them in positions of power, put Republicans in positions of power, and then they use those positions of power to steal tax dollars. They give lucrative contracts to their friends. They change the laws so that they can directly steal. They change bribery laws. They change the way PACs function. So a PAC can essentially just be a bank account that you use for whatever you want, including effing taking yourself out to dinner, paying your mortgage, anything, because PACs are essentially dark money. You don't have to know where it came from, at least not before the election, if you file late enough. And they're very difficult to track. So because people can't check and make sure you're following what few rules there are with them, you can use them for anything.
With your vote tomorrow, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country. And I will bring back the American dream. You're going to have the American dream back. What a shame what they've done to our country. They've destroyed our country, but we're going to get it back and fast. We're a nation in decline, but that
we already know he's a liar.
And after 4 years of economic suffering, we will create
the reflection in her glasses is interesting. Now, I don't know that this is true. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but are those a bunch of empty seats? I don't know.
Greatest economic boom the world has ever seen. They're all coming back. All those companies that left us with the job, they're all coming back. Think of this, though. We're just one day away. Oh, we've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for years for this.
For the record, the reason this election took up so much of our lives is that Donald Trump announced that he was running again bizarrely early. He did this because the DOJ notifies the target of a prosecution, usually immediately before they inform the public that charges are being levied against somebody. So the day before the DOJ announces charges against Trump, he announces that he's running for president again. Then the DOJ, so in other words, the DOJ informed him, we're going to charge you for election interference, stealing the documents, so on and so forth. And he goes out that evening and says, I'm running for president. Then the DOJ announces the charges, and then he comes out and says, look at what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop me from being president again. Guy's a criminal. Through and through.
And so have you. And so have you. We've all been waiting for years. One day, you got to show up. I don't want any money. I don't want anything. Just show up and bring your vote. And if you have somebody else that got a little lazy, bring that person too. Say, Jim, you got to get off the damn couch. Come on. We got to make America great again, Jim. We're just one day away from what will be the most important political event in the history of our country. But you have to get out. We have to vote. Just show up and vote. I'd love to. Really, what we should do is swamp them. Just swamp them tomorrow. You know, we have a massive lead. I don't even like telling you that, to be honest with you. We have a massive lead. First time ever a Republican was leading by a lot in early vote. It didn't happen. The Republicans would always be way behind. They believe in going on election day. So we're going to let you go on election day, right? But they waited till the end always. Democrats would always have hundreds of thousands of votes, and then they catch them.
It's not true, but so just so we're clear on what he's doing, laying the groundwork so that he and every dishonest media figure that is for some reason in business right now, because we have an incredibly gullible country. He's going to turn around and say, it was impossible. It was impossible to lose when we were ahead by so much. And the only evidence that he'll be able to cite for being ahead is that he said they were ahead. Make a note of it. Make a note of what he's doing. It really helps to maintain clarity. When right now, before the election is decided, you can see what he's up to. Because we're gonna have to tell delusional people in the coming months that no, your guy lost. He lost fair and square.
You never know. Maybe the 1 yard line, but it's in our hand and we put it over that. It'll be the biggest event maybe in the history of our country. And let me tell you, it will be also something much more important than that. It's going to save our country because our country is in trouble. But that's all you need to know. And another thing you want to know is Kamala broke it and I will fix it and fast.
This will be useful for you all when talking to future Republicans. Bring up this point. If they are being dishonest with you about one thing, you should assume they're being dishonest with you about other things. He keeps saying Kamala broke it. But he knows she's the vice president. He knows that's not a reasonable argument. It's simply not true. I disagree with the idea that the country's broken in the first place. But even in setting that aside, you must know that Kamala isn't responsible for this. So for the state of things. So if you stop and think about that for just a moment, you're a potential Trump voter out there, and you think about the fact that he's telling you that Kamala Harris somehow broke the country, and then you recall, oh wait, she's the vice president. She's not the president. He was being dishonest just then, wasn't he? When he said Kamala broke it. You know why he's saying it. It benefits him in that moment for people to think of things that way. Well, of course. Of course it does. But it's also demonstrably not true. She simply didn't have the ability to break it because she was the vice president. So if he's lying to you about this, if he's deceiving you for his own benefit in this moment, you must ask yourself, when else has he done it? Most politicians do this, and all Republican politicians do this. All Republican politicians build their entire career off of this grit. They trust that you will never look anything up, and they hope that you won't stop and think about what they said for just a moment. And they're confident that you, the voter, will never consider the implications of catching them in a lie. The implication being there have been lies that they told you that you haven't caught. Yeah. He knows, says Del Martinez, Pence couldn't implement laws and talk to the generals. He knows what a VP does. Yeah, he was president. Ha ha ha, Mrs. Jen's Cats. Just saw a post on Facebook that says, gender reveal party tomorrow night, hoping for a girl. Oh, mercy.
Yes.
I'm jumping
Four
ahead.
more years of gross incompetence and failure. What is 12?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do we want 4 more years of gross incompetence and failure? Because we just had a 4-year break from it. And the question is, do we want to go back to it? Now that we've had 4 years away from gross incompetence and failure, do we want to go back to that? He brings up a good point. I say no. I say let's do a whole clean slate and elect somebody who's never had the job before. Someone who's never let us down before. So toss his ass out.
Or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country.
We will, through Harris, because we're going to make her a decent politician.
Like about 15 yards off the field. We're not starting at the.
I'm going to give you guys a gift and jump ahead like an hour.
She uses everything I do. She uses even Saturday Night Live. They copied. Think of that. Saturday. Oh, she was great. They copied my routine. I did it a long time ago. They copied the same routine.
Kamala better.
I think I
replace
did
the
it
rest
better.
of those Trump appointees.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think anybody.
Why
could
is
have done
Louis
it.
DeJoy?
I think
still
anybody
there?
could have done it better, Dan. Right?
I know the president can't directly replace the postmaster general, but good God, pull whatever levers you got to pull, whatever strings.
But fortunately, there was a whistleblower on the 818, and I thought it was an amazing thing. So it got released. And now, to add to it further, they've just revised other past reports, jobs reports, down by 112,000 other fake jobs were reported. For almost 1 million fraudulent jobs were created. And it all got released right now in front of the election. One day, I mean, it was 3 days that we heard about it, but we're talking about it now. And normally this would be a disqualifier. This would be
God, he can't stop telling on himself. Normally, this would be a disqualifier. Think about every freaking piece of information that's come out about Donald Trump since he started running for president. This freaking guy has built an entire campaign off of moments that would end anybody else's political career, and rightly so. Rightly so, they would have ended other political careers. It's amazing. Jumping ahead. I think it's probably a good sign, by the way, that I personally watch politics for fun, good and bad. People I hate and adore. It's not even that I hate Trump. I mean, I do hate him dearly. I mean, not dearly, that's a weird word. I hate him passionately. I hope for the worst things that I'm willing to hope to happen to a human being, I hope they happen to Trump. But it's not even that makes me not want to sit through this effing thing. I'm just bored. I'm bored of him. Aren't you bored of this clown, America? I'm bored of him. I'm going to jump ahead.
Very closely before I recommended it.
Let me just, yeah.
I didn't know. You got to be
Those faces
careful.
are weird.
Now, she wrote a great book, a #1 bestseller on the New York Times list. You know, for Trump to get on the #1 bestseller on the New York Times list, most people would consider it like virtually impossible.
All right, so you don't have to know anything about politics to understand the character of these people from their speeches so far. Kamala Harris, a half-hour speech, right around. She stuck to the issues. She made her pitch for the job she's trying to get you to hire her for. She said thank you, and then she left. I've had to jump ahead in Trump's speech, and he's talking about how well his book did in the New York Times bestseller list. He's talking about grievance. He's talking about himself. He's wasting your time. His speech, good Lord, his speech is... Let me jump back. Over an hour long, and most of it's irrelevant. You know what? We're going to listen to the close.
To get on the #1 bestseller on the New York Times list, most people would consider it like virtually impossible. And she did. So that means she sold a hell of a lot of books. And so
yeah,
go get Melania. But
I'm
Baron
not only bored with Trump, I'm exhausted by it.
I want to thank you very
this guy's
specially.
draining our
This is
energy.
our last
Let's
time
just get rid of him tomorrow.
Forever. Well, we started this. Think how sad. We started this, right?
So ready to
we
have him
started
care
it
about
really
what
as
Trump
a
is up to.
family unit. 9 years ago, we've had the big.
So ready to not have to care about what this clown is up to. Agreed. Del, because I like you, I'm going to do this. Not for long, but I am going to do it. Let's hear what Trump sounds like at half speed. Whoopsie doodles. At half speed.
Biggest rallies, the most spectacular rallies in the history of politics.
This is how I feel
It's
listening to this freaking guy now.
It's the biggest and most powerful movement in the history of our country by far. And I say that in front of the fake news all the time. There's nobody can correct it. And I tell the story of Pat Buchanan. I like Pat Buchanan. Now he's a pretty old guy. I hope he's around. I think he is, but he's a pretty old guy. But he became...
Doesn't know if he's alive or not. That's great.
Very famous and very successful. And he was on all the shows for years, for 40 years, because he won 50 states. We did the event, and we did do this, and they were doing horrible to think of it. If I would have done badly in 2020, I would.
Wait a
Okay,
minute.
I said to everybody, I said, I think we got to do it again. Think of it. If I would have done badly in 2020, I wouldn't do it. It would have been easier, but we all know how well we did. And
No, he ran because he was being charged with crimes that are going to put him in jail for the rest of his life. Just to be clear, that is why he ran.
I said, we got to.
And the evidence of this, I realize you can't read somebody's mind, but the evidence of it is blatant. It's obviously clear. The very day he got informed that charges were coming, he rushed an announcement that he was running for president. Hastily announced that he was running for president. The very day he was informed that charges were coming.
To do it again, only because
And it was
I
way ahead of when anybody else did.
You know, all these things that were happening, you take a look at it, you take a look at how bad, nothing good was happening. We were disrespected all over the world. Other countries laugh at us right now, and now they're laughing harder than they've ever laughed before. And we're not going to let anybody laugh at us. It's not going to happen. So I said, let's do it. Let's give it a shot. And now the people, and it was, you know, quite contentious because you had some people, but now those people are real friends of ours again. And we have a show up and vote tomorrow. And if you do, you're going to win. I mean, you know.
Show up and vote tomorrow. And if you do, you're going to win. What was that? What was Menemene?
Show up and vote tomorrow. And if you do, you're going to win. I mean, you know. The ball's in our court. You know, as they say, I mean, you know. Importantly, we're
going to do Friedel 0.5 speed again.
Gonna show up and vote tomorrow, and if you do, you're gonna win. You know.
All right, you're right. You're right, and I was wrong. That was pretty fun, actually. Oh, God. Tinkerbell, orange does cancel out blue. Ooh, fair enough. Del Martinez, LOL, Pat. Shade Dragon, Grandma, I thought you were dead. Do I have to check my liquor cabinet, or are you just going to tell me it's empty? Don't bother. I didn't realize I was your grandmother. Cat 67, Cat. Let me guess, the weave. You're gonna win. So weird. Ooh, you got a druid friend. Cool. I have some Druish friends myself. I don't know why I turned it into a Jewish joke. I actually literally do have druid friends and Jewish friends, but no druid Jewish friends.
The ball's in our court. You know, as they say in athletics, the ball is in our court.
Yeah. As they say in athletics. Famously in athletics. What a weird effing thing. She taught me everything I know, Jake. Rad. Well, if you learn how to turn into an owlbear, do so, because that'd be rad.
What we have to do is get out and vote, and we walk away with the greatest political event in history, but much more important, it's going to be the event that saves our country. Okay? So,
boop, bop.
They have little difficulty with them on occasion. Really good. That's not to say that I didn't have really good kids. They're really good kids. They're really good. That's really done. Thank you, kids. I'll see you later. Good. Thank you very much. I saw all these cameras. Father, thank you. Thank you, kids. I'll see you later. Good.
Who's
thank
leaving?
You very much.
That he's saying
and your
goodbye
father,
to?
thank you.
I don't.
Those cameras being turned away from me. What's going on? Cameras turned. I say, why are those cameras? I didn't.
Thank God we're doing the next segment as the last segment. Because he talks right now, what he's talking about is the thing we're going to be looking at next.
didn't know what was happening. I saw all these cameras turned. I say, why are those cameras being turned away from me? What's going on? But, you know, in a way, they've become stars. They're just great. They're great people. And, you know, they do it because they love the country.
That comb over is unique. I have never seen somebody cover the back bald spot with a comb over from the front like that. I'm of the Vin Diesel school of balding. When the time comes, and it's coming, I'm just shaving it.
Thank you, everybody.
And I
So
might
here-
wear a cap because I've learned that having no hair is cold. That's not a Tim Pool thing. That's a longshoreman thing. I'm not letting Pool take that from the longshoreman. All right. He's saying, oh, look at that face. That's a face.
Oh, bring them up. Okay, come on, let's go. They all want me to bring them up.
Can't get done fast enough. Look at these fucking ghouls.
We are 20 from everyone in Pennsylvania, but truly.
But the one thing that wouldn't have happened, we would have never taken the military. You take the military out last.
Still, we're just jumping ahead. I don't even care what the comments say. I'm sorry, gang. I'm jumping way ahead.
And there may have been like 900 of them. A tremendous amount. This is over 9 years. Many. I know we celebrated 507. I remember 507. It was a few years ago.
Figure out what he's
got to be close. I don't know, whatever it was.
I
But
have
it's
no idea
hundreds and hundreds.
I know I just jumped
And they've
into
been
it.
flawless,
but
right? Every once in a while, I'd make a
it's
little
rambling.
aggressive statement that people didn't like. But you know,
Oh, everyone.
don't forget, I'm rarely on the teleprompter. Isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't have to be on the teleprompter? Right?
He literally needs it. Okay, there we go.
We're
Let's
going
hear-
to do it.
Let's hear the last words he ever speaks at a Trump rally.
For Democrats, for liberals or progressives, if they prefer, which they do prefer. But we're going to do it for independents, and we're going to do it for everybody. We're going to.
I just want to make something clear. If he's able to understand that the progressives are not the same thing as liberals, that means all the times that he was calling a bunch of liberals socialists and insulting us by association and confusing America intentionally, he knew. He knew. And now that he wants our vote, he acknowledges the difference. Motherfucker.
To do it for everybody. And you're going to be so proud of your vote. I really want you to look back and your family.
Oh, I'm
to look
proud of my
back.
vote.
My dad, my mom voted for Trump.
I
It was
didn't
the
just
best
vote
thing
for this guy not
that
to
they ever
be
did. That's what we
president.
want.
I voted for him to be put in prison.
Otherwise,
which
you've
happens
made a mistake.
if you get Harris elected. Because he broke the law.
And we felt the love. We would have never done this if we didn't. After all we've been through to something. With your help, we will restore America's promise and we will take back the nation that we all love so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never
Some anti-atheist rhetoric there. Okay.
give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and win, win, win. November 5th will be the.
Don't you find it funny that I know we're wrapping this up, but don't you find it funny that he can't think with their astroturfing campaigns to make it look like some people support him that clearly do not. And he can't think of anything more creative than blacks for Trump, women for Trump. I have a feeling we're going to find out women as a group were not for the Republican Party this time around. Nor is anybody else who's paying attention.
The most important day in the history of our country. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around very fast. You're going to be very proud. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Pennsylvania.
And that's it. We're done with Trump. Now, here's what I believe we might have been seeing. Fake. Oh no, all 4 RFKJ supporters just came. You got Aces High stuck in your head. I don't remember that. I don't remember that song. I'm embarrassed. Anyway, here's the majority report pointing out when the cameras in one of Trump's last rallies, turned around. Cat 67 Cat, yay, we are done with Trump Le Pew rallies. Whoop, that's the wrong tab.
Still dumb. Here's some footage of
All right, look, I'm trying. Emma. Christ.
of the emptying out or like half full arenas that Jeff was just referencing.
For 9 years, we've had the biggest rallies in history of any country. And every rally's full. You don't have any seats that are empty. You don't have anything. I mean, the one we had today, you missed a beauty. We could have filled that place up 20 times.
Let me just point out in case you missed it. Trump was just then saying, we don't have any seats empty at these rallies. And the cameraman, apparently shocked by his audacity to lie about what was happening in that very moment, did something beautiful, which is show the rallies. Now, you should ask yourself something before you see the rally. If it turns out that Trump is lying and that he does, in fact, he was looking at empty seats while saying there's never any empty seats at his rallies, what does that tell you about the other things he's told you? And if you see his crowd that is there, the people who are in seats, cheering him on when he says that, despite the fact that they can look around themselves and see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of empty seats, what does that tell you about the movement that supports him? Not only is he willing to lie to you, his followers are willing to lie to you. Everybody associated with this thing is fine with you, the potential voter, having wrong information, being deceived. They are all fine with tricking you for a vote. Do you think they have your best interests in mind? They don't respect you enough to be honest with you. In fact, they lack so much respect for you, they will actively lie to you about something blatantly obvious. Let's see. Are the seats empty or not?
I mean, that was beautiful. And the Virginia rally, did you hear about the Virginia rally? That was on
Shady zoom in there.
Yeah.
Governor of Virginia.
Empty.
And they had a crowd there that was incredible. And then we came here.
Empty.
You can almost hear the echo.
Hey, there's some supporters on the bottom part.
The entire upper chamber has nobody. Oh my God, they're wearing the garbage vest.
Just a few minutes.
Empty.
Just a few minutes, depending on
So we're
your
at a half-full
definition of when
basketball
it's going
stadium.
to start.
Empty.
But you know,
Oh, there's the
we've been
people.
doing.
Never
I was
mind,
talking
take
to
that
some of
back.
the people. It's
What a
sort
bunch
of,
of
you know,
empty
in a way it's sad, and in a way it's beautiful.
Empty, empty.
I was talking to him and I said, you know, this is
More.
coming
Huge.
to an end. These rallies are coming to an end. We've been doing them, think of it, for like
He's so
9
tired.
years. We
Believing.
started a
Yeah.
year before. And we've had tremendous
Look at all these
success
empty
in
seats.
2016.
Wow.
We did phenomenally, right? We went in.
They're
said
leaving in the middle of
they
him
gave us a
talking.
3%
It beat
chance.
traffic.
Leaving.
And sort of like amazing, right? 3%. That means 97%
He's
for
willing
Crooked
to
Hillary
lie
and
to you.
3% for me. And
This
I
is,
was
by the
saying
way, in North
I went to
Carolina.
Iowa.
I think we get the
I had-
gist, but
Everything
As
he's
ama-
been saying,
amazing, great
everything he's been saying can be ignored. You cannot trust this guy. All right, Emma.
job by whoever took that footage of panning while he's saying that. That's in North Carolina. That's the only one of the 7 swing states that Donald Trump won in 2020 against Joe Biden.
Gang, I think we got a pretty good shot. Nixabia, good to see you. Puts it very well. He's been campaigning for like 10 years. Yeah, I'm ready for the campaign to be over. I'm ready to never hear from this guy ever again. Tomorrow is the big day. Elaine, good to see you. Rex Trek, good to see you. However, yeah, I think Pinkerbell puts it well. On some level, he's probably ready for it to be over too. Yeah, I think he is. And I'm going to Rex Trek. Yeah, I second that emotion. Absolutely. And I'll toss this at you. Here's a prediction for what it's worth. I think if and when he loses, if and when he loses, he is going to try to make just enough of a stink that he gets a deal from the Harris campaign to pardon him. I think he's going to switch gears to campaigning for a pardon more than anything else. Then he's going to try to flee the country. Anyway, I hope. Yes! Thank you, Snixabia. I've been campaigning all day. I'm achy. You're a hero, Snix. Thank you. Tomorrow's the day. I'll be streaming for basically the entire evening. I hope you go vote. I know you will. Or you have. Coming to you from a free America. This is WYCD Wicked. That stands for what you can do. Your polling place is located in the description. My name's Jake, and this is Donald James X.